Greetings there, baby dolls. Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. The Bitcoin price around 105,000 American dollars. We're probably expecting June to be a bit of sideways, a bit of poop. Maybe there's going to be some action that takes Bitcoin down just to retest around this 100K. I also want to tell you, friends, before we even throw anything out there into your nostrils, PMI came out and it was 48.5. Don't reach for the gun. Don't reach for the gun. Oh, man. Can you believe it, friends? Oh, man. You know, I don't agree with people just saying, you know what, I'm checking out, but I understand sometimes. I really do, because that's the thing, man. You don't know the future. No one knows the future. So it's just like endless pain over and over again. It really did come out, friends. It was like disappointment, but what can we do, right? So the Bitcoin, at least Bitcoin, friends, actually, it's kind of funny, right? Bitcoin had the highest monthly close in history, and then like all the sentiment is like really, really bad for everything out here, because everyone's in altcoins, man. Everyone's like digital pet rock just does nothing for you, right? And the people who, it's kind of like everyone. It's not really everyone, friends. This is the thing, right? A lot of people are in Bitcoin. Most people are in Bitcoin. That's why the dominance is up. You just don't hear from them because they don't hang out on Twitter. That's why. They are in MicroStrategy. They're in MetaPlanet. They're in the ETF, right? They just have BTC on Coinbase. They put it with like their stocks portfolio. You know what I mean? Like they have, 60% stocks, 30% bonds, maybe 5 or 10% Bitcoin. That's the life that they're in, right? Because a lot of the people that have come in, they're like the, what you call, basically the long-termers, the passive income, passive investment type people, they're in. And there's a lot of them in. But it has gone up on leverage. This is the BTC weekly chart out here. We knew it had this reset. Here we are now. Maybe we come back and we pull in, maybe before we go off to the races. Yeah, it's just basically just, once again, more cope. Hopefully that these squiggly lines pay out. This is the Ethereum price chart as well, friends. Ethereum, so good news for you, man. Ethereum's price action is actually good. It's actually holding up, but I'm not going to say anything. Just calm down, but it is holding up really well. This is the ETH-BTC ratio. It just looks like it's going to just glide back up. But friends, I really think, right, this, I've been in markets on. This was like deep capitulation. Now we joke as well. We sometimes say, oh, manipulation. But it's just, what do you mean, like, manipulate, bro? Like, there were just a bunch of soy boy Jeets who got into the Ethereum ICO, and they just literally paper-handed down here. They're just like, you know what, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. We're losing against Bitcoin, So what I've seen is, because you just go straight down here, you have a tendency to come back up. Just the way you came down, right? And then these people usually don't want to get back in, okay? They usually don't want to get back in because they don't want to take the loss. But then usually what ends up happening is you just end up lining back. And you're like, oh, wow, we just erased all that pain in like a couple of months. Yeah, that's usually what happens, right? But, we're not here to just erase pain. I've been waiting for like freaking over 4 years, so we'll see. Now, as a friendly reminder as well, friends, no matter what happens in the crypto cycle, this is the total crypto market cap. It is at 3.26 trillion. I reckon we're still going to 10. Okay, we deserve 10. Stablecoin, super cycle, real world assets, all of these things. I think we're going to 10, man. I don't know how. Don't ask how. But I don't know specifically. Is it going to be monetary policy change? Is it going to be the government? Is Donald Trump going to do a backflip? I don't know. Remember, friends, this is the Ethereum weekly chart. I really like this, man. This is super strong. When crypto does this, friends, when it does that, it's about to pop every single time. It goes up and then it flags upwards. That's like the stock standard crypto chart where it starts flagging upwards like that. That is, you're about to burst. That always happens in crypto. So remember, the next CME gap is 3,200. So if you notice, right, when we came up to here, we had the CME gap at 2,600 and we've pit stopped. So wouldn't it be funny if, so that's right here so I can show you, wouldn't it be funny if we went to 3,200 and then we pit stopped again, and then everyone thinks it's over, right? Everyone's expecting this, but then we just, we zip up again. We got a long way to go, man. As well, friends, remember Vitalik has said he's going to scale layer 1 Ethereum over the next year. It's going to be 10x. But I guess the market doesn't really care about that because it all comes down to the business cycle. Checking out OTHERS-btc, this ratio We did confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red months in a row, man. It's just, man, I really thought May was going to, Y was going to finish green. What happened, bro? It was green the halfway. We're like 99% sure it's going to finish. Nope. Red again. What gives? Well, it's funny, right? Ethereum was strong in Y. Ethereum bounced. So why did this thing finish down? Well, you just had Cardano, XRP, BNB, everything else basically, and Soylana as well. Because they have, remember, they've got altcoins derived off them as well. They pretty much stalled, even though others doesn't directly take it on, right? So that's why that's just interesting. Interesting how we got, you know, in Y, Ethereum starts going strong, and that stuff that was kind of holding up well, now that starts going weak. That's why I like playing this stuff month to month. It's really not worth it at all, friends. The S&P 500 stonks are still near their highs. This is very nice as well. It's actually been going up on some bad news, which is pretty much telling you this thing is like destined for all-time highs. Now, because you're my baby doll, let's crank it a bit.
I was blind, couldn't see what everyone could see.
Check it out. Here is the new PMI, friends. It actually came out. See, we actually have the reading now. It came out 48.5. So there you go. So I have just edited this to 31 months now. My gosh, man. Yeah, look, share it, friends. I don't care if no one listens. I don't care. I'm putting highest value content in crypto out here. I'm sharing this with the universe because you're my baby doll. But people who don't, people who just want to keep slapping themselves in the face and not listening, okay, dude, that's on you. No one cares. Literally nobody cares. Okay, we got our Game Boys. What do you have? You got nothing. All right. So remember, altcoins follow the business cycle. Yes, altcoins follow the business cycle. So there are two big macro forces in crypto. Number one, Bitcoin follows global M2, the money printer. 89% correlation, right? Altcoins and Ethereum follow the business cycle. That's it. Okay, so Bitcoin, it actually is statistically special. When they print money, Bitcoin grabs the money units. Now, don't worry about arguing about why, if, how, no, yes. It's not about that, okay? It's not about what we think of the tech. Leave that aside, all right? Bitcoin is that. So, you know, you probably wish that you held a coin that went up with the global money printer. You say that now, man. I almost guarantee there's going to be a cycle where they don't print as much money as we think, and then the business cycle is like really strong. And Bitcoin dominance is like just slowing down that whole cycle. You know what? It might actually be the next one. It could actually be the next one. You don't know. Or it could be this one, for all we know. You know, where they don't print as much money, and then just like altcoins have the double bubble alt season. Because everyone's waiting. When's the money printer coming? When's the money printer coming on? You know? So that's how it goes, right? You don't know what you're going to get. Now, obviously, in the past 3 cycles, what happened is, see, this is it, right? Because you had the GFC, right? We had, see, business ISM, only 6, 12, and 10 months below 50. See, it was this 6 months is here, 12 months here, 10 months here, right? Why was it strong? Well, when you had such an enormous, it was literally 1 in every 70-year event with the GFC. It was such a totalitarian wipeout that the business cycles after that, you only had strong hands because everybody else was so scared to open up a business or to just do anything. And as well, people who were existing in the businesses, they made better decisions because they go, whoa, remember what happened in the GFC just a couple of years ago? I better make sure I don't buy 7 cars in my driveway or take 7 holidays. I better make really good business decisions. And guess what? They do. They do make good business decisions, and all the weak hands are gone. So the business cycle is able to go up. It's easier to fly, right? And as well, back then, we were responding very positively to the money printer because the money printer had never been used before. Now we started using the money printer, and look, they were able to move the business cycle, and you were able to like get the positive flywheel quite fast. Now, it looks fast, but actually it's kind of like standard. See, now we've had 31 months. So even though they're printing money, the business cycle still hasn't popped up, okay? But it's not going to be like this forever. It does suck. That's why I put this in big red text here for you so you can see it. It is a once in 45-year event. The last time we had something this rubbish was literally 1980. So, yeah, that's pretty much puts us to where we are today. Now, I'm just going to show you some cracker news, friends. So obviously, the ISM manufacturing PMI has come out at 48.5. If you go to forexfactory.com, you can see it. If you click on calendar, ISM manufacturing PMI, see actual forecast and previous. The forecast was 49.3 and we got actually 48.5. Now, remember, here's the thing, okay? This is backwards looking. Okay, so it's backwards looking about a month, which is still kind of close for economic data, but it's still backwards looking. So you got to remember, right? When Bitcoin, so you might say this, you might say, well, because this thing is in the past, when Bitcoins when Bitcoin starts to move, it's people pricing in the future events immediately. Okay, so it's not 100% in terms of Bitcoin price moves and then that PMI immediately shifts. Okay, because remember, the Bitcoin price, because basically what I'm getting at, remember, friends, I've shown you a chart. You can use Bitcoin's price, right? And you go, oh, what did you do in this month? And then you can go and match the ISM and try to guess what the ISM is going to be. And it has good directional move on it. Now, the thing is the flash PMI, I'm not 100% sure. That's meant to be an early lead indicator, but that might be the early lead indicator for the next reading. Okay, because that's because it takes a month for it. So you got to go through for the month, then they collect the data. It takes like a month. So yes, it's not exactly 100%. That's why friends, all these. That's why economists, they're always like backwards looking. You see, they're using all this data, right? And the price moves first. So that's why economists, like, you're always looking at, oh, look what happened 1 or 2 months ago. But that's why when you're looking at S&P 500, they start pricing in things and that haven't happened yet, right? I can also show you on Forex Factory. I've clicked on the ISM button. Look at some of the news out here. Look at this, 3 hours ago. US manufacturing contracted for the 3rd straight month in Marwai, and suppliers took the longest time in nearly 3 years to deliver. So you see this 3rd consecutive month following a 2-month expansion, which is, that's kind of rubbish, man. What is it? Is it the tariffs and everything out here? Yeah, it could be, whatever. The point is, as long as it's below 52, no one's getting rich in anything crypto related, business cycle related, nothing. Okay, we need above 52. 50 is when they start technically calling it an expansion. That's why they had 2 months of expansion, bro. That was an expansion. Sit down. So in the past, right, 52. You swoop 52, the positive flywheel is here. It's kind of interesting how it works, right? So they can keep printing money. It doesn't necessarily affect the psychology of the whole economy for people to take risks and sort stuff out, right? There's a lot more variables and complications than you think. So they will keep printing money. That's why I guess Bitcoin's a golden goose, right? Because and so is gold, I guess, during these periods of time, because it's just going to keep printing money, but also pretty much everything. But they just match with it, right? Except Bitcoin. Bitcoin overpowers the debasement rate. Checking out more news, fans. So remember, I told you about $2.9 billion of tokens are going to get unlocked in the month of June, and we are in the month of June right now. I'll just show you them right now. So you have PUI, $200 million, Layer 0, ZK Stink. You have Athena. Remember, I think this was Arthur Gazer's in here. Remember, it's one of the stablecoin super cycle stuff out here. I told you, did I not tell you they're like unlocking stuff, friends? Arbitrum. You have, Coctomism up here, Craptos. Yeah, so, but look at these. They're only like, it's 1 to 2% of supply. This one's 8%. They don't just like get out and immediately exit. They find market makers. They just, that's why it's the method, man. Like, it's not really rigged. This is how the game works, right? They get all the exchanges to list their tokens, and then they're just letting all the players and everyone gamble and trade, and then they're just basically selling about 1% of the daily volume on that. But yeah, the juice was to get into their ICOs. That was the juice. Which, see, the ones that you want to get into, they didn't let anyone else into, right? And yeah, it doesn't even matter about their token unlocks, because no one wins unless that business cycle goes up. See, we need the business cycle to go up, and then pretty much it's crank time. If we check even the 8-hour chart, or at least with the weekly chart actually for BTC, friends, I'll check it out. I'll check it out just a bit lower. I saw like Uncle Bobby and Blockchain Backer. Pretty much wouldn't be surprised. We expect one more stab down. One more stab down, anywhere from 100 to this 96. Anywhere from here. Anywhere in this little box. I could just zoom in so we can see. Some little, some recovery. Everyone thinks James Wynn's made it. And then you get like the... And then we hit sentiment low. Where like literally like we're already getting up. Oh wow, another thing that's gonna tell us it's definitely never ever gonna get better for anything in your life, and then we're ready to go up, and then it's like the charge point. But that's where crazy things happen, because Blockchain Back Uncle Bobby, they're like, cycle's over at that point. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We've had 31 months of contracting business cycles. 31 months. It's way overdue for the positive flywheel to occur. Now, friends, you also have MicroStrategy have bought 705 Bitcoin at a $475 million. So they now have, they bought it at about 106K. You can go to SaylorTracker.com. Michael Saylor's price average is above 70,000 now. He's still continuing to DCA FOMO up here. Remember, friends, after all this effort, he's still up 50%. So hopefully he keeps cranking it. He is giving FOMO to everybody else's hearts out there. They're like, yes, $30 million Bitcoin. I have to get in now. I have to get in yesterday. There is a Bitcoin treasury bubble. I don't know if the bubble's popped because of the Bitcoin conference, but that Bitcoin conference, something's stopped out there. Something. We know. You could... It's undeniable at this point, all right? It's undeniable. You're Andre Geek. You're Tiffany Fongles. You're like, bro, you guys were not here. Where are you? Where are you from, right? So we'll see how that plays out. I want to quickly show you this, man. Friends, whilst no one's looking, Soylana ETH ratio, it's about to flip red on the weekly super trend. You know how I've been showing you this every day? Look at this. It's ticking down. It's now down only 1% away to flip red. So remember, if you were holding Soylana and this flipped red, and then you got the Trump launches a meme coin on you, you got given, firstly, you fluked it with Soylana. Now you got given a Hail Mary on top of your fluke. It's like 2 Hail Marys, okay? And the thing is, you obviously noticed they still didn't exit. I'll just give you an example, friends. When you're watching Ivan on Tech, we love Ivan, and you're watching Crypto Banter and Coin Butthole, are they talking more about Soylana or less? More. They're still talking more about it. Just case in point proven. There you go. So, it flipped red on this weekly stupid trend. Donald Trump comes in. You get a big thrust up. They just see this as a further confirmation that they should have stayed long the whole time, which they have. You see? Because the news just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. Yeah, that's why we're not built for markets. You have to learn. You have to learn the game. You have to tweak your own nipples from time to time. Because what do people do? They wait for the news to get bad, and then they decide to change their mind. They're going with the crowd. And what you'll notice is, friends, maybe Soylana ETH ratio does come back down here. And the news, it might literally be bad, where they say, you know what, Vitalik and Ethereum, they're actually scaling up. And maybe you find stuff like maybe Phantom expands to the Arbitrum layer 2s, or whatever it is, or layer 1 Ethereum gets more wallet support, whatever it is, you know? Just something will appear that just favorable Ethereum and then bad Solana, and then that's when people finally like open up. That's why the game is hard, man. It's really hard because like the market, it's beautiful in the fact that it's beautiful. I love you, Mr. Market, Mrs. Market, whatever you are, but it will give you great opportunities. Yeah, Mr. Market, as Warren Buffett says, right? It will. Thing is though, if you got to make that decision yourself. Because if you talk to other people, they're like, preposterous. It's going amazing. Why would you get out now? So stupid. That's what they say, right? And when things are going bad, they're like, yeah, man, it's gone bad. Remember you said it was going to turn 3 months ago and it didn't. It got worse. It's going to get worse again. You keep staying wrong. Right? That's why I make my own decisions, Spencer. When I listen to other people, I don't go listen to them for instructions. I listen to them, hey, what are you thinking and feeling? What do you think? It's kind of like, you know, the poker table. You're looking at someone else's eyes. Or you're even on the football field, okay? You're looking at where the ball is, where's a, you know what I mean? So that's equivalent of that. WinterPoop have introduced Crime Enjoyer code, a code that warns of malicious code in Ethereum's delegate contracts to protect users from a new wallet draining tactic. So WinterPoop, friends, I reported on this, even though they're like almost, you know, a public enemy number one in Ethereum land, because they do a lot of like, every project, they give their token supply to Wintermute. And Wintermute is very, look, I have to say good. They are good. They're good at basically destroying retail. Yeah, so that's what your market make. That's what your job is. Your job is to trap people. They keep trapping traders. Trap. I heard the interview from the WinterPoop. I think the founder or whatever. He looks like, I wish I could show it for him. He looks like Cousin It with his bald haircut. You know Cousin It, friends? He's Cousin It. You remember Cousin It from the Addams Family? He looks like Cousin It with his bald haircut. And then he has the Jeffrey Dahmer child pedophilia axe murderer glasses. Friends, I just found it. I just found it. So you can tell he looks like I told you. I told you. I told you exactly what he looks like. When you want to check it out here.
Not a dividend.
I'll check. I'll show you straight away, friends. Straight away. We're not here to mess around. And here's another one in the top left. In the top left. I'm telling you. Check that man's closet. No. Check his fridge. Check both the fridges. He's probably got a third fridge. Okay? And don't believe any of the labels. It's probably going to say like cabbage and lettuce. You're like, hey, why is there 7 liters of blood bleeding out of the fridge? Just check him. Just check it. All I'm saying. So he's the founder, by the way. It makes sense now. You know what I mean? Like that's who you're playing against. Okay? When you're trading these memes and short-term stuff, that's literally who you're playing against. They give them like 5 to 10% a lot of the coin supply. And that's what their job is. Their job is to trap traders. So what they do is they monitor a lot of stuff. They have their own strategies and methods because if they are most of the bids and offers, right? If they move a price up, they know their position and they track the volume and they see how many new people enter, right? So they know if they put in like, you know, $1 million of buying, but then there's, you know, then there's total positions of like 1.2 million, then they know, since we're all the bids on the way down, we can sell 1 million back plus the 200,000 trapped and we move the price back. And that's, my friends, that's what happens. When you're playing that game, that's why you get, you know, the wank off pattern, you know, or the wank off pattern where the market maker goes up, it goes up and they start distributing. Yeah. They start distributing out here. And then when they're finally ready to go, they're like, sweet, bang, bang, bang. And then you come back in. See that wank off pattern? That's how you get that. Right, where they go, that's why they've come up with the profit, and then pretty much people who bought the top have a net negative. That's why it's all about your edge, right? So friends, I can trade, I can make money and do swinging, but it's nothing like, come on, man, long-term holding. But here's the thing, there's your risks, right? We've got the worst business cycle in 45 years, 31 months, and still going. You know, but the forward-looking PMIs are really, really, really strong. The next 6 to 9 months. It's just that, man, like, because we're in crypto. You know, man, the days are very, very, very long. SharpLink Gaming has planned $1 billion of Ethereum purchase for its treasury using proceeds from the proposed share sell-off, according to the Suck Elon's Carrot filing. Okay, so remember SharpLink, that is Joe Lubner. And by the way, friends, I do have what I earned left over, and yes, I will be cranking it. And yeah, we got a lot of Lubner for me. Okay, so SharpLink, that is the Joe Lubner. It's the MicroStrategy for Ethereum, where they're going to find money in the market. Basically, they're just going to buy ETH, and they're going to hope that it trades at a premium or a discount or whatever it is. So that's why we actually might find the FOMO. It's going to bleed into Ethereum, but not as much as the Bitcoin one, because Michael Saylor's next level. You know what I mean? Like he's next level evangelist. You know, like you just can't compare to him. He's literally, when he talks, he's convincing people that like whatever you're doing right now, it's bow and arrows, and then he's got a rocket launcher. Yeah, he's like, Bitcoin is the rocket launcher. Yeah, he like, Bitcoin is, you can't even cook food. You haven't invented fire yet. Bitcoin is literally inventing fire. It's inventing the wheel. You know, he keeps using these metaphors, and it's just, these people got him in the head. Oh, the new technology. And we're like, bro, we've been talking to you about crypto for like 8 years. What you need a dude to come out and tell you that you're using bow and arrows for you to get in. And by the way, the price isn't 5,000 US anymore. It's 100,000. You check it. You're literally paying up 2,000%, 20x higher. But they don't think about that. Because then he says, you know, he goes, I'm going to be buying the top forever. It's more of the warping of space time. Everyone around and everyone's feelings. Like, how am I buying the top forever? You have to be buying the top. So remember, he literally said, if you're not buying the top, you're leaving money on the table. It's kind of like if you're not dropping your wife at your wife's boyfriend's home, you know what I mean? You're wasting your life away. There's plenty of hours of luxury and leisure you could be having. So we do need that to continue, but don't let it bleed into your heart as well. Tom Lee has said Bitcoin can hit $3 million long-term and 250K possible by the end of this year. Let's listen to Tom Lee, friends. Tom Lee is the perma-bull, big stock market bull. He's a very intelligent man as well. He's really intelligent. Let's just listen to this.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target.
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum it should have the same network value as gold. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, Bitcoin could be 2 million, 3 million long term. Even higher. 90.
So yeah, all this stuff, that's what we're playing for. We're all here for. That's when you get, hopefully, crypto's $100 trillion industry, 50 to 100 trillion. Yeah, because maybe Bitcoin is 20 trillion by that point. Yeah, it's going to take a couple of cycles, of course. It's not going to happen overnight. But that's part of the journey, isn't it, you and I? So remember, it's kind of funny, like Joe, so the guy that Timely's talking about, he's like, whoa, you're so bullish, 150 to 200. Like, Joe, you were... Man, these guys were covering it at $5,000. They're like, no, not another 2x. Whoa. Bro, you've watched it do a 20x. No, not another 2x, dude. So you're probably wondering, man, I always wondering, how do you not see what I see? And then we're here 18 hours a day. See, friends, see these people, they're looking at gold and stocks and bonds and up and down. No, dude, you focus on your one edge, okay? I've got a squeaky chair. I've got very, very pointy elbows. I've got straight posture. I don't skip leg day, okay? Did some squats yesterday, okay? So when we're looking at this, we know we're just going to focus and concentrate. We know things, okay? You got the business cycle, global M2. We're in crypto. Yeah, it's poopy, but we need all the traffic lights to turn green before we're good to go. You see all that? We're focusing on this 24/7. These people aren't. They're looking at, oh, gold's popular. And then it like dies down 3 months later. Oh, no, silver's popular. So they never have a edge to hone. As well, the dude's probably getting paid like, $1.1 million salary per year US just to be on that. Probably more. He's probably like a couple of million. So that they could not give less of a truck in terms of what we're in. And Joe as well, he likes Bitcoin as well. He's like a Bitcoin bull, pretty much. Think about that. That's a Bitcoin bull on the show. It's kind of almost telling us. Now I think about it. Does that mean we're definitely going to 250? Bro, you're the Bitcoin bull on the CNBC show. And you're like, 150? 200? Whoa. Bro, the price is literally $105,000. Gotta love it. Update, US Bitcoin ETFs saw 9 billion in inflows over 5 weeks, while gold ETFs lost 2.8 billion. So US, we are seeing people who were storing value in gold, rotating it in. That's even, I told you, everybody's playing the game. That's why the Bitcoin maxis, their next goal is to flip gold. So they're targeting the gold store of value, right? They're targeting the gold store of value. That's what they're trying to do. So once gold's conquered, who knows? Could be 2 cycles. There's going to be another high level game. But the high level game, I don't know how they're going to do it because there's only one thing left after that. It's the US dollar. But they're probably not going to go for the US dollar. They'll probably say, oh, if you're holding property, hedge your geopolitical risk by buying Bitcoin. Because you don't know what's going to happen in that country. But if you held Bitcoin, that's okay. It's got no geopolitical risk, does it? You can basically move it around anyway, right? That's what they're trying to do, trying to eat the world in terms of that market cap for BTC. Now, friends, I've got another update on James Wynn. James Wynn deposited $20,000 in donated funds to his Hyperliquid account, lowering his Bitcoin liquidation price from $103,600 to $103,610. What? Literally $20 left. Friends, please, I love you. Don't, Habibi, please, don't donate to him. Don't donate. Dude, the guy's got $4 million. What are you donating for? His liquidation price is here, friends. So it's got this update, $103,600. He's long. Hopefully it goes up and swings it up a bit as it comes back up. Remember, he went down 99 million swing. And James Wynn, he did come back, try to put on longs, and he's just... A lot of people are really convinced that he's doing... there's no evidence of this, by the way, that he's hedged on exchanges. Right? Some people believe that there's been some... he's trying to message CZ. Yeah, so trying to get Moonpig listed. But so if he's hedged on exchange, just so you know, so if you put, like $100 million short, or he's got $100 million long on Hyperliquid, that's public. He's got his $100 million short on Binance. Yeah, that you can't see. So if it drops down, liquidates him, the other one's on side. That's what some people think. The thing is, though, I'll be honest, fans, like, I know I want to believe that, but when I heard the guy talk on Crypto Banter, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound like a dude. That's, yeah. It doesn't sound like a dude doing that. It generally sounded like a guy, he got mega lucky in something. Like, he went, like a guy who, man, maybe he had, I don't know how he had, maybe he had a spare 500 grand and he put like 400,000 into Doge in 2020. Like something ridiculous that just hit for him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know where he got his money from. Now, a lot of people like ZachXBT, they come out and they're like, oh no, they're scamming, pumping and dumping. There are some pump and dump friends, but he's got, dude, the guys, I know it's 60 grand and 60 grand. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But he's got, man, when you're dealing with, he's got $4 million in hype itself. You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't explain it. So it is a mystery. And it's just fun to cover. It is fun to cover just to see how, yeah, you can have a $99 million downswing in a 5% Bitcoin range. Isn't wild just to see that? And there were lessons to learn. That's why I cover it here for you. Stick to your circle of competence to do that. Right? That's very, very important. You get to see someone. It's a gift, friends. We got to see this, got to learn. Obviously, unfortunately, there's pain of money lost if it's real. You just got to witness it, right in front of your eyes. You go, oh, just because you have a lot of dollars, your skill didn't actually go up at all. You know what I mean? You're just getting rinsed over time. That's why if you just have spot altcoins, yeah, you can't get liquidated. Checking this out as well, friends. So Meta shareholders have rejected a proposal to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Only 0.1% people were in favor and 95% opposed. So I put a clown emoji. Why? Here's the thing. If you are a shareholder, this is the right move to do. Yeah, it is. Because the theory is you're like, look, if people want to go buy Bitcoin, they go do it. There's no point to do this strategy. The thing, though, is I put a clown emoji because we want to publicly shame all these companies who don't do it, you know, because we get to show them, look what you're missing out on. Look at them, their company stock is pumping 5x. And that will get them into crypto more. So I can't believe we're watching this in real time. There's Bitcoin treasury bubble forming and happening. It's great. Breaking news happened as well. MicroStrategy announced plans to launch an IPO for its 10% Series A perpetuals STRD stock to raise funds for general purposes, including buying more Bitcoin. So more warning signs. They have STRK, STRF, Strife, and Strike, and whatever, man. It's just an STRD, stirred, strong D. Some people say look. It's borrowing money. They pay you a yield, and the yield is printed from the shares. So it's like, look, it's a blessing in disguise, okay? We've gone through 4.5 years. You're like, dude, you got like no risk tolerance for this stuff. Dude, there is no way I'm touching that. Like, we know how that ends because we just remember 2021 so strongly, right? A lot of people, though, friends, Michael Saylor has captured a new market of people. They're not FTX victims. They think that they're completely immune from Ponzi-like stuff. That's the difference. When you think you're really smart or you're like invincible, that's where you get hit hard the most eventually. US has paused tariffs on select China goods until August 31st. So the tariffs, everyone's got tariff, like pretty much tariff fatigue. Everyone's like, yeah, move on to it. No one gives a shit about it anymore. Treasury Secretary Bessent says US is never going to default on its $36 trillion debt. You know, when they show this chart as well, friend, just to let you know, they show this chart right here. It's the US debt, and it's always in linear. Show the real chart, bro. Show the log chart. Show the log chart. You're too scared of it. It's always linear. See, it's going up, 4. See what I mean? But if you show the log chart, it's a straight line. Now, it is going up over time, but it doesn't look like, oh my gosh, it's going to pop. Because they keep increasing the money supply as a percentage. By the way, to get long on that debt, yeah, if you own crypto, remember, your crypto, what's it priced against? US dollar. The US dollar is just, the debt is inflating and getting higher in supply over time. But, eighth wonder of the world, it takes time for it to compound, and we need the business cycle to go up to reprice it. Also interesting, price of eggs in the US of A has dropped 61% since President Trump took office. So they use these little retailer signals to just basically do advertising or reporting out to the media, because no one else, Kippy, what's housing, what's this and that, money supply, they can't understand these words. It's just, what happened to the price of eggs? They're down, okay? $698 billion worth of homes are for sale in the US of A new all-time high. I've been seeing a lot of people, a lot of people always just show that one person who took a loss in property and everything out here. They are slowing down the property market. They are. It's probably going to be weak for a while. In some parts of the world, still booming because they're printing money, right? But if you got to think about this, if they reflate property, what does that mean? What does that mean? They reflated the currency supply. So once again, crypto keeps winning. The thing is, though, it doesn't feel nice, does it? Because remember, with crypto friends, you have liquidity risk, we've now learned, over the past 4.5 years. In terms of you put your money into the pit, you don't know if you're ever going to get your money back this month, next year. And look, it's been 4.5 years now, right? So eventually, I do believe you do get it back. The thing is, though, that it's just the timing. See, if you were in stocks or bonds or gold or even Bitcoin, you could get your money back out right now, right? But with altcoins, you can't. Thing is, though, that's why everyone concludes altcoins are trash. No, dude, that's where the life-changing, explosive, parabolic Metcalfe's law gains are. Yeah, but that's a sacrifice you make. Like, oh, you want life-changing gains? Okay. It's sort of a catch-22. You better be winning the hold for a lifetime. That's exactly what we're doing, right? Now, baby dolls, remember I told you major loser Jerome Powell, he spoke. I don't even know what his speech was. However, you just need to check out the US 2-year rate. Look at this. The US 2-year yield minus the actual Fed funds rate, and it will tell you what the expected interest rate change is for the next 2 years. See, that's minus 0.39. That's about 2 cuts, less than 2 cuts. So pretty much, I'm going to guess he said pretty much nothing. And if you just check this 2-hour chart, maybe he was a tiny bit hawkish. That's it. Maybe he was a tiny bit hawkish in his words. He's like, you know what? We're still data dependent. Oh, like we don't have to cut rates. Like things are okay. Maybe that's pretty much what it got down to. So you don't even have to look at his words. You just look at the market price and everything out here. So what are we waiting for? Business PMI and that business cycle. Let's see what happens. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.